Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, SprinkleBeard. I stream over on Twitch every day right now from about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till about 6. Depending if our channel keeps growing at the rate that it is, I'm going to have to expand that time, so I'm really excited. So today, the video that we're doing is talking about books. So, why do we care about books? Books are pretty game-changing in this. The reason why is that if we go into our tavern, so I did a sloppy job of this, so if we go into our tavern here, you click your champion and then you go to upgrade skills. Here you can see at the top how many books and how many of each book that you have. Booking is RNG, so as you give your books to your character, they will randomly get assigned to a certain skill, and then it costs silver to upgrade, so make sure that you have enough silver. Ultimately, though, you want to fully upgrade some of your champions. The champions that you're using the most of, you want to fully upgrade their skills. So here, Ma Shaled, who's a legendary, has an 80% chance of stealing all buffs from this target before attacking. But with booking, it can become 100%, so not just 80%. And then instead of it being 4 turns, I've already reduced it, so it reads 3 turns. So depending on your champion, some champions take a lot of books. So here, Kurzad Deepheart, who's like one of my favorite dwarves in the game, 9 books plus 6, that would be 15, plus another 6 is 21. 21 blue books. Where are you going to get all these books? Books are actually kind of one of the more rare resources in this game, and it actually makes the game a lot of fun because it gives you kind of a lot of pressure about who do you want to book, what are you working on in the game, because booking a champion can be very impactful. And then just to mention this as like kind of an offhand thing, another way you can book champions, if you have a character like Diabolist and you have multiple copies of Diabolist, you can feed multiple copies of you can take the copies, or dupes as the community calls them, and feed them to the original to book out a champion. It's something that makes certain characters like War Maiden an extremely popular character in the game because you can fully book her because she's farmable in the campaign. So, we are now going to talk about where can we get these books, and I'm going to list them in the order where I feel is the best or most consistent way to get books, and then we are going to talk about, further and further down, less consistent ways to get books for your advantages, right? So, number one, and this, I still think this is the best way, in my opinion, but you don't unlock these things until you're like level 20 in the game, which means don't really worry about books until you're around level 20. Anyways, it's tournaments and events. So each week, not even each week, each day, there is usually a tournament or an event that is changing hands. So there might be a tournament going on today for the next 2 or 3 days, but as you can see, there's tournaments that are ending in like 14 hours. But depending on the tournament, there's some really easy ones like Champion Chase, where all it is just summon as many champions as you can. Doesn't matter how you summon them. You can buy them in the market. You can win them from the campaign. You can buy shards with real money. That's not what I encourage on this channel. But as you can see, for winning first place in some of these, you can get a legendary book, or, second through 5th place, you can get epic books. As a free-to-play player or a new player, it can be very difficult to win tournaments. But often there are free prizes anyways for just reaching so many points. 5,500 might seem like a lot of points at the beginning, but understanding the rules that if you pull a legendary, you can get 500 points anyways. So there's certain ways to kind of manipulate the RNG of a tournament, or ways to save up resources for a tournament where you could guarantee that you would get the proper number of pulls. Here there's Fire Knight, so there might be a dungeon, or you might just have to level up champions in order to gain books. And once again here we can see that there's a purple book as the top prize. Even though I'm 700 points away, I should complete that by the end of the day with where I'm at in the game. That does not mean as a new player you should always be going for these epic books, or if you do not have a good Fire Knight team, ignore the Fire Knight tournament. It probably means that's a waste of your time. But there's always tournaments going on. There's Classic Arena takedown, champion training tournaments, and then there's champion training events. And to me, events are a lot friendlier for getting these books. So here, there's a champion training event. If I was paying more attention to leveling up my champions, here you can see that at 2,500 points, which is decently obtainable even for newer players, you can get a blue book. This is where I got most of my blue books when I first started the game. You get more points for leveling up 3-star champions and 4-star champions. So it's one of those things you might not, if you're not using a champion, or if you pull a random 4-star champion, you don't want to just start leveling them up. You might save them for a champion training event, and that is your time to level them up. I feel like that is the most consistent way to get more books. Not necessarily legendary books until you get closer to endgame and you can start winning tournaments. But for blue books, so rares, and epic books, I do feel like that's the best way. The second best way, because it's something that you can just be consistently working on and over time, and it's kind of a huge part of the game anyways, is your clan boss. So what this means is, first off, you'd have to be part of a clan. So down here you have your clan tab. You can search for other clans. So like here's like clan offers or your application. So you might have applied to a clan. Otherwise, just go into a chat room, like, you know, channel chat 7, 13, find a number with highly populated people, 420, and ask if you can join a clan. The question they will ask, though, is how much damage can you do to your clan boss? So the two ways that you can get blue books, by just doing your daily rewards here. So by checking in, you get 1 star. So every day you would want to at least just play the game, click into the clan tab here, you would get 1 star. Then if you're able to do these tasks or these tasks, you can get 2 star and 3 star. And if you get into a very heavily active clan, you can get prizes for hitting 90 stars. And sometimes this chest will have energy or gems or your favorite, books in it that are very helpful. So the clan boss itself is the other way to get books. So when people ask what type of key you're hitting, I'm going to use an example that is not very free to play, not great for new players, but it will give you the general gist. So here on the left, we can see my name, SprinkleBeard. I have done 55.22 million damage, and my key usage is 3. So over here, to find out how many keys I have to use to kill the boss, we're going to click this box, and here it shows the damage values for me to hit. So I had to do over 39,166,000 damage. I don't like the way that this is written, but it's the way Plarium currently does it. Anyways, you can click here and look into drop info. Here you can see that I can get epic books and legendary books. I can get any type of shard. I can get these mid potions, which are kind of nice. I can get brews. I can get random items, which are great all on their own. But if you're curious, you can click on the box, look at the chest, and here you can see, even on easy, you do have a chance to get ancient shards and blue books, both which can be great for a new player or free-to-play player to upgrading your account. At the very least, it's just more money, right? It's just free silver. When you start off the game, you might feel like you have plenty of silver. As you progress through the game, silver can become a problem. I am constantly always hurting for silver. But here, even looking, this is the normal one, right? That I just clicked on. You could actually get epic books as soon as normal. Now, you are not guaranteed a book every day, but I remember when I first started off, I was getting a book like once every 2 to 3 days. And again, just getting a free book can help your character's damage, can lower the cooldowns on a skill, the chance of a debuff landing, or take away, a huge debuff that a skill has. Next would be missions and challenges. This is actually one of my favorite parts that this game does. So if you come in here to challenges, there's a bunch of different challenges that you can do. A lot of these are either time consuming or they kind of act as a tutorial. But you can get free shards or free books in certain cases. As you can see, I've completed most of mine, so this is not the best way to show off that challenges can do that. But same thing with missions. as you complete a bunch across the bottom here, as you can see, you can get things like books. Here I can get an epic tome for clearing stage 7 of the Brimstone Path on Brutal. So there's just a bunch of different ways in these missions. These missions will teach you how to play the game. They might give you a challenge where Spider's Den might be something really difficult for you to do, but it gives you a goal to work towards. Or it might show your progression in the game that you don't realize that you need to do, and once you start working on getting 5-star and 6-star banners, could really up your party's damage or potential by getting banners, or figuring out, oh, that's where you can get banners from. I did not know that Spider drops them. I was always trying to get them in the campaign. But that's another great, easy, consistent way to get more books. The next one that I have is Arena 3v3. So this one I don't like for new players. I just want to point out that it is an option. But so if you go into Arena, and once you get, I think you need like 30 champions to go into 3v3. But what you would want to do is set your defense and make it really weak. Just put in some random champions that people can fight. But what it will do is it'll often pair you with people who are also doing the same thing. They don't really care about their ranking. Here we have a bunch of level 1 stars that I can clean up later. But if you come down here to the bazaar, you can buy skill tomes here. Or right now, I'm working on unlocking a legendary champion that takes me 100 days to unlock. And that's okay. So I'm going to buy him now on stream. That's terrific. But you can buy blue books in here. And when I was first playing the game, this was something I heavily invested in. Was I spent a lot of my gold bars here buying rare tomes. And again, it feels so amazing when you fully book a character. The character, their damage might seem huge after you book them, even if you've changed no gear, or that extra cooldown on a skill can be game changing. Certain characters like Apothecary are a perfect shining example of, like, his A1 is just all damage, and that's not really what we care about Apothecary. But this speed boost is originally 5 turns, and it lasts for 2 turns. It goes down to 3 turns, and then with masteries you can make it so that he's constantly speeding up the party and increasing allies' turn meter by 15% so often. Here his heal was originally on a 3-turn cooldown, now it's on a 2-turn cooldown. Apothecary just throwing out heals and speed ups, it's crazy. He basically becomes like Yuumi from League of Legends, if anybody gets that reference, and it's hilarious for the people that do get it. The last way that I feel is a consistent way, and there's actually one more I'm going to add, is Faction Wars. Now, Faction Wars is kind of more endgame content, so here we can say that I have a book to collect. But it's one of those things that over time of playing, and it's not going to let me log in to show you, but I have built so many undead champions that it was very easy for me to kill a boss, and I wasn't even planning to, but the boss drops a book. And that was really awesome for me because it was just like, oh, I was building up champions that I needed for other dungeons anyways, and it just so happened that it put me in a position to get blue books. So I got 2 blue books today from each the undead and the demon spawn because my account I'm finally in a good enough place that this was easy to snowball over. And then from getting so many stars, I have also gotten a blue book. So there's the last way that I want to talk about, because I saw this in missions and it made me think of it there. But in the campaign, you can also get certain rewards by 3-starring certain levels. Now, when you start off and you're playing through on normal, you probably don't want to try to 3-star missions, because in order to 3-star a mission, you have to beat the stage with no losses. Now, a champion can faint and you can resurrect them. So if you have somebody like Blind Seer who can resurrect, it's not a big deal if your Gallic dies here. But you can only do it with 2 champions and no losses. So it's kind of better to wait until you have a bunch of 6-star champions, and at that point you can go back in with your 6-star champion, and maybe with a support that speeds them up, like Apothecary, because that's how I did my normal campaign. Oh, and then actually there is one final one. As you get further into the game, you could Doom Tower. So right now I just entered into hard. I can't really complete a lot of hard, so I'm stuck where I'm stuck. But here you can see there's a lot of things that will not make sense to new players. But there's energy, there's chickens. Where are my books at? So chicken for defeating the boss, void shard for defeating the boss, but epic tome. So there are a lot of places where as you get closer to endgame, you can start getting more books. I really hope this was helpful for you guys. This was something that when I started off the game was a huge game breaker for me because I kept putting books into certain characters that either didn't need them or that didn't really deserve them. And it's kind of funny that when you book the wrong character... Now, Abyssal, I do plan to book anyways. But if you're booking people and you don't... Like, Gallic was a perfect example. I fully booked him because when I started streaming, everybody's like, oh, book your starter, it'll be amazing. Book your starter, it'll be amazing. I fully booked Gallic, and then right after him, I soon got Bellower. And Bellower turned out to be my AoE farmer for the longest time. He was absolutely amazing. And when he was fully booked, oh my gosh, he was game-changing fully booked. So from a 75% chance for things happening to a 100% chance happening, and then those things happening more frequently, my Bellower became a super monster on this account. He's still a great champion. I'm sad that I don't use him as much anymore, but he was the first champion that I fully booked that felt stupid amazing. And then Apothecary came shortly after, and the two of them carried my account from early game easily into like late early game, because this game is quite the marathon. This game is like if you're trying to like sprint across the entire earth, you know, you need to do it at a reasonable rate. But guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. For some reason, my YouTube videos do not have comments available yet, so if you can't leave it in the comment section, you can always hit me up on Twitter. I'm Sprinkle_Beard there. You can come check me out on Twitch. I'm very friendly. And eventually when I can open up comments, I'll open up comments. And then you guys can ask me questions there. Thank you very much for watching. But until that next time, ta-ta.